Mr. Person, as government side, we view that the breaking up banks that are deemed too big to fail banks is very good way to maintain the economic stability, and consequently it leads to for the sake of the people's lives. So therefore, we as government we have to interview the such banks, and it is legitimate for the government to break up that such banks. So therefore, today happy to propose. Today I talk about three things in my speech. Firstly, why even big companies should be brought up, and secondly, why we have to avoid a risk of bankrupt, and thirdly, why government is justifiable for interviewing the such banks. Okay, they move to the first argument, so why even if the banks are big, why even big companies should be brought up? So even if banks are big, there is a certain possibility to fail. So to consider about this problem, let me clarify context of this motion. So context of this debate is, for example, first of all, the economic state is unpredictable. So, for example, in the case of the Brexit, the other countries' issue is highly concerned. So, to example, Brexit, the economic status is concerned the whole European countries. So, the economic status cannot be decided only one country's status. It is difficult and unforeseeable. And secondly, the economic status is uncontrollable issue. So, for example, the epidemic of the Brazil, Zika virus, please. So the Brazil is now very huge developing, highly developing, but the Zika virus or the other environmental factor or the unpredictable factor may be a huge influence on the economic status. So that it suddenly the economic status suddenly might be go down. So the economic status is very unforeseeable and uncontrollable, and it is difficult to foresee. So therefore, the economic status is very difficult to foreseeable. So therefore, even if the company is huge and it seems stable and strong economic status, we have to take care as well as other banks, and the big banks is a huge impact on especially big banks. So therefore, the huge harm on the people and the companies. So therefore, I explained this harm. But before that, yes, opening.
Okay, so when it comes to such economic risks that can affect the whole nation, also for society, then even though we dissect the large bank into small or middle banks, most of them are going to equally get an influence. So what's the difference?
What is the difference is the impact scale of the harm brought by the big banks or small banks. I explained my second argument. So why we have to avoid the risk of bankrupt, especially the big banks. So in the first three, the individual levels, so banks such big banks, many corporations and enterprises save the money or the resources to the banks. So, for example, the McKinsey or Google or such global enterprises, such kind of companies, a huge amount of money the big bank deal with, and in the individual levels, and if the bank is bankrupted, the money of the bank is is lost it, and it is hugely damaged on the economic status, and such harm is trickled down to the individual. So therefore, the individual life is hugely determined. So there, in first level, the individual level, we have to avoid the risk of bankrupt. First of all, and second of all, in the social level, if the government helps the bank, for example, by the bailing out such kind of things. So, the first of all, by bailing out, the government have to use a huge amount of tax, and so so to help the such banks, highly possibility to deem to fail. So so this. This is hugely damage on the economic status of the individuals and the economic status of the government themselves. And secondly, if the governments do the bailing out or the helping the such big banks, so the situation of the moral hazard would be occurred, and the situation will be worse and worse. So therefore, in the individual level and social level, we should not help the bank that are deemed too big to fail, and we would rather to break up into the small banks and to avoid the risk, and because if they're divided into the small banks, they are. But if one bank is bankrupted, the other bank has also the money, so they can go to the another bank. So that it is much more better than the only one big bank to save the money. So therefore, it is okay to break up their big banks. And thirdly, why the government can intervene there the breakup. So therefore, we are happy to propose it.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Now let us welcome the opportunity to showcase. Within 7 minutes, would you come up to the stage?
Yep.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This debate is about the economical sustainability and development. The one big bank was those kind of economical institution, or that's a small, that's diversified bank, which is more better for the sustained economy and also that's invest money for that development. So in terms of that, we think that because simply because reason why that this kind of big bank is more financially capable to invest and gaining trust from the people. That's why we think that is more stable and capable to invest money for the development. I have the three arguments from the leader of the opposition. The first is that in terms of the sustainability, the why small that diversified bank is cannot taking that multiple strategy, and also it's at the end of the day it makes those kind of bank more vulnerable. The second is that the comparatively why not the one big company or the banks are the more comparatively capable to just sustain their the business in terms of they can diversify their investment and protecting their financial capability. And lastly is that in terms of the investment, because they are financially capable, why they can taking that to some extent risk, and also why those kind of that risk itself is extremely important for that development. So before moving on, I have two engage. The first is that they explain to us it's still the data. big bank is a collapse, it's also hugely damaged to the entire society and those kind of things. The point is that still the small bank is also that's a hugely effect on the other types of effect to the society, because the economy is not so simple. Just one bank is a bankrupt, that's end. Those kind of things, it's not happen because that's once one bank is that collapse, it's also damage to that one. It's also damage to that companies, the business, and also that it's also damage to that the company which is the making the contract with those kind of bankrupted company.
Yeah,
So
okay.
on that occasion, it's also that just one bank is the bankrupt. It's also damage to that other bank or that other company. So on that occasion, we cannot easily to say that the diversified bank is more the decreasing the risk those things. So more secondary that they talking about the government legitimacy, those kind of things. We do not think that this debate is not so much important for those kind of things. So simply because that which paradigm can maximizing the economical situation is a premise or the maybe their principle. That's why we just simply going to on that why the one big bank is more capable to sustain and develop. So move on to first issue about sustainability about that small bank. So we think that comparatively that the small bank is that the possibility to bankrupt because by the simple main two reasons why. The first is that in terms of the capability to gaining the trust from the people or the company. Because that's easily, for example, the depression situation, the many people that have that also caring about the possibility to bankrupt. Because this kind of small bank is also have the possibility to bankrupt because they do not have that so much the financial capability. So on that occasion, the first is that the many people that rush to that bank and also that's last, and also it damages to the financial capability on the bank. Moreover, we say that then compare that's a small bank and the bank. So on that occasion, that's one company just a small that's the possibility to bankrupt. They easily rush to the bank. Also that in terms of the trustfulness, it's also that those kind of small bank is that comparatively unsustainable one. And secondly, that the capability to the diversify the investment. Right, that's the Prime Minister has already told you that the global economy cannot be easily predict those kind of things. Yes, we agree with that. That's why we think that the diversified investment is extremely important. Because still we have to understand there's some investment is a fail and they can losing the money. Those kind of situation is always happen in that situation. So that's why we think that on that occasion, that's a small company cannot capable to invest the diversified way. Why is that so? Because that's the many types of the majority of the small bank that hugely relying on the main customer. For example, the some industry or the big company, those kind of things. They hugely rely on one strategy because they do not have a so capable to just diversify the investment. So on that occasion, they cannot easily easily counter that's the unpredictable economical damage. On that occasion, comparatively, that we think that the small bank is a more unsustainable one. The comparatively move on to second issue about the big one big bank. So we think that the firstly that because they are so firstly that it's because simply financially capable. Moreover, we say that those kind of for example the JP Morgan or those kind of financial institution already gaining the trust in that society because their name and also capability is already proven in their own achievement and also they recognize as a society. It is extremely important to just gaining that money because they are trusting those kind of company do not collapse and also they can, if we invest money for this kind of the bank, we can gaining that particular profit, or we can at least sustain our money. On that occasion, many people use money for those kind of bank. Before moving to the second point, yes.
While there is a diverse banks existing, the clever strategy for disciplined corporations is to take loans from multiple banks in order to minimize the risk. What's the difference in your side of the house?
Okay, I'll explain that. The second point. Okay, about the trustness. Okay. Move on to issue about the investment. We think that it's comparatively that the big company can taking that diversified strategy for that making diversified strategy. Because they already capable to the firstly and also predicting and studying about the future or the future of the economy. It's also that needs the investment to study or those kind of things. So on that occasion, that's comparatively those kind of big the bank as capable to predicting the multiple scenario of the economy. So on that occasion, we think that it's comparatively better, and also they are capable to taking that multiple scenario, and also that's mitigating risk of their company. Okay, so sorry. Okay, move on to the last third issue of the development. So we think that they can, because they are capable, they can taking the investment risk. Of course, we do not thinking that they are so easily so much hugely risk. For example, that they can utilizing that. Okay, so on that occasion, because they can taking the risk, they can invest the money for that really they need the money. For example, that's the Greeks. For example, the developing country. Those kind of financially incapable the situation, they can also save because that government cannot the perfect answer. So for those reasons, we oppose.
Thank you, hello. Now let us break down. The plan is to open your case again within 7 minutes. Would you come to the stage?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So today's side opposition is really elitist, right? So side proposition believe that we're more than happy to accountable to more vulnerable people. I'm going to talk about three things. First of all, let's deal with the unique law of the two big banks. So, but they misunderstand this notion, right? Their but is not talk about the general idea, general benefit of the big bank, right? Why the too big is essential, plays a fundamental role to sustain the economy to begin with, right? Second, I like to deal with risk is the same. Now I like to show you why. Three, even if risk is the same, why the tax revenue is exploited by the rich people is really inconsistent in the principle. So first of all, let's deal with a unique law, right? And we're talking about the general idea of the big bank, right? Like technology, diversify, trust, right? But this is also happening our side of the house, right? Because we more than support the big bank, right? A relatively big bank like Mitsubishi, like so forth, right? But their side supported two big banks, right? JP Morgan, good like Goldman Sachs, affect entire society itself, right? Not general big bank itself. Why too big is essential, is fundamentally important to sustain the trust and so forth to begin with, right? So that is a misunderstanding. Trust by diversity is also happening with Mitsubishi, also having this kind of Tokyo, USD and so forth, right? We don't think any necessity at all, right? Second, ideal risk is the same, right? They say that this affect all economy, right? Their analysis of economy is quite simple, right? We tell you that nobody cannot predict the economy, right? Let's compare what happened there. Nobody can predict the economy, right? That's why Brazilian economy goes down simply because Zika virus spreading, the Brexit happened, entire society is affected. What's the point? And their side, too big, one fell, that's the end of the life, right? But our side, if one small bank bankrupt, several small bank bankrupt, then people recognize the countries, another several bank can prepare the recognizing the situation. This economy is severe. That's why you can predict, can create a district that can preemptively predict, prepare because of the fact another bank is bankrupt. Because of the fact that another bank is bankrupt, that's why we have to care about the situation, Mr. Speaker, right? Their side, so really important. That nobody can predict that, like JP Morgan is bankrupt, that is the end of life, right? But our side, that's Mitsubishi Tokyo bankrupt, but at least like another and the Shizuoka Ginko can prepare that economy is so really severe situation. That's why we have to prepare. That kind of risk minimization doesn't happen on their side of the house, right? Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, right? We have to recognize that no response is about my partner's principle, right? Even if risk is the same, why this is a bad thing? Because of the fact that because the choice they make is two, right? One, dismiss the entire economy because too big, too fast. Second is idea of bailout, right? Why bailout is so hard? Because tax revenue is exploited by the big firm, which that so unfair to impose the burden of the shoulder of the poor people, which has nothing to do with the rich people responsible action, Mr. Speaker, right? The reason why this is bad thing is because they do accountable to everybody, right? The problem in their case is that rich people, rich corporation, rich bank do irresponsibly conduct this action because bailout exists. That's why I do conduct anything, right? The problem is that so unfairly imposing the burden upon the shoulder of the poor people. They have nothing to do with the responsibility, right? What is the consequence is that people distrust, the people feel distrusted that our money is exploited because of the responsibility of rich people. That government is ultimately elitist, my government, right? Nobody willing that in that situation, people no longer have motivation to willingly to contribute to society. The people no longer have motivation to, cooperate with the government, especially the poor people, because of that people believe that this government is so elitist. Just stick to, so elitist people, Mr. Speaker. That is the point they never understand, right? The state do account to every people, not only the same of rich people. That's kind of no response coming at all, right? So let's deal with my partner's extension. I'd like to emphasize my partner, right? So my partner clearly told you that why the economy is so uncontrollable. First of all, no thank you. The other countries also related, right? That Brexit happened, right? What's happened to every entire bank to distribute the money? That means that not only affect Greece, but also affect Germany, but also affect Spain, Paris, and so forth, right? Which means that it's so difficult for the country to predict the risk to begin with, right? For example, my partner also told you that Zika virus and so forth, right? Brazil, nobody do not predict that Brazilian economy goes down, but goes down because of Zika virus, unpredictable action, right? And the other side, how do you deal with this problem, right? Too big, one JP Morgan, nobody predicts that. JP Morgan bankrupt, then their end of life, right? But our side, Mitsubishi Tokyo, UFJ bankrupt, but another bank can prepare this situation. They're recognizing the fact, economy is so really difficult situation. That's why we have to prepare it. That kind of deterrent, that kind of preemptively measure happen on our side of the house, right? That is my point, Mr. Speaker, right? So today's proposition stance is quite simple. First of all, that we agree that big bank is important, but this motion suggests too big bank, right? We don't think that too big bank is so essential for the fundamental role to sustain economy. Furthermore, the state should not become elitist in order to accountable to everybody. That's what I propose.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. Now let us welcome Deputy Leader of Opposition to showcase again within 7 minutes to come up with the stage.
I'll talk about two issues. Firstly, which side is better for a sustainable economy or risk management? And secondly, the necessity of the large investment by large banks. Okay, so rather than combine. So the first issue about which side is better for sustainable economy. So let me clarify what's the exclusive point with today's debate, right? Because what main concern for the opening government was about the huge economic risk that can affect the whole society, whole country in and of itself, right? So what this implies is that although like we dissect the large banks into a very small banks inside a nation, it's not like undermine the risk in the first place, right? Because in that kind of circumstances, that those kind of each middle like banks or like small banks inside that nation also are going to be affected by those kind of economic ruin caused by maybe Brexit, caused by maybe like remote election, etc. Right? So basically, in that kind of circumstances, there's no like exclusive like benefit or exclusive like risk management on the other side of the house, right? Because even though like the risk of the like failure of the middle or small bank may be like limited, but we think that if those kind of things are collected in like 20 or 30 or those kind of multiple small banks are going to be failed, then the like those kind of extent of the harm or like the number of the people who are going to be affected is very similar. So we think in that kind of circumstances, I don't see any exclusive point from the side of the house, right? So what's the exclusive point is that the management structure or like the corporation or like corporate structure or the one like bank in and of itself. And we think in that kind of circumstances, we think that having the one large bank is relatively better by several reasons. Firstly, I've already told you that large banks have a huge like capital inside those kind of banks, and that even though like some like small recruitation are going to happen, or some like relatively like small like risk are going to affect those kind of like one bank, that it's like relatively unlikely that those kind of large bank is going to fail. Like, in terms of probability, the smaller bank are more likely to fail or more likely to face like the huge financial difficulty, even though the risk is relatively small. Right? After Brexit, those kind of middle like small banks in the like UK are going to be like fail or like are currently like failing. Right? So we think that's kind of circumstances that having large bank is relatively better. And also we think that especially in case of a large bank, firstly that it's more likely that, for example, like more like competent like economic advisors, like more competent like corporate workers are existing in that company, and also like those kind of large banks often have a long history, and they have the kind of experience of like how to overcome the certain risk before that, and also like they have the certain experience of the know-how as to how to deal with this financial situation, or like to which extent we can take the risk in terms of investment, etc. So we think red bond side of the house is better. But secondly, from the perspective of the student or users of the bank, we think that having large bank is relatively better, right? Because the perception, later please, the perception for the small or middle bank is that the student or like company who are using that bank believes that those kind of banks are relatively more vulnerable, and even though like this is a small like failure or small ruin of like, for example, economic achievement or like productivity may lead to the failure of the small or middle bank, right? So we think what I'm going to say is that, for example, just because like even though like this kind of economic ruin is relatively small, just because like those kind of economic achievement are literally like lesser than for example past year, those kind of students are going to fear the risk of those kind of failure of the company, and likely to withdraw the money from those kind of bank, right? And this is rather going to make a vicious cycle of like loss of the capital inside small or middle bank, and this is going to lead to the further distrust to other bank. We think those kind of situations more likely to happen in the middle or small bank. We think the larger bank have the more perceived as the more reliable one, or